want to talk about country music. Country music. Um, I just remember Charlie Pride. Charlie Pride, the country singer. He not too long passed away. I think Charlie Pride passed away either last year or the year before. Um, but I think that people try to run their country music because country music is they think they're going to do something new with the country. I'm talking about African Americans. Think that they're going to do something new with country music, and I don't. I think that there is no market for them because um, um, not a lot of blacks. If you're black, there always. I think the country music is for is a white world, and that's the bottom line of it. Because and I'm not trying to be prejudiced or anything like that. Why I said that was because white America buys it and that sings it and buys it, and so it's more like a white society because America whites buy it and sings it, and it'll be difficult for the African American person to go country, and because not a lot of African Americans are going to go country, to go buy country. Not a lot of African Americans are going to buy it, and and so it leaves the African American country singer on a limb because it. But the market for it, those country companies know that it doesn't sell. They already know that. But I think this singer think he's going to run over there and try to make do something different with country when there isn't no market for him over there. And stuff like that. And I think because they saying Charlie Pride did it, so they can do it, and stuff. And Charlie Pride came in at a different time, and and they think that they can do it because Charlie Pride did it, and I wonder if they had been turned down. And pop music and R&B before they went to the country to the country music. Did they go to pop? The record companies for pop and R&B and was turned down. Or they didn't sell well or whatever. So they said, well, I'm going to go run a country and I'm going to do that there. Make something new over there. And when there is no market for them over there. And stuff like that. There's really no market for them over there. And the record companies know this. There's no secret about it. And they think that they could do it, man. And I remember a doctor did it. I think he had the money to pull it off, but he did not last. He lasted for 5 years. He came out with a couple of CDs and shit like that, but eventually, no market for him there. There was really no market for him. Or any African Americans that that really would sell well there. You know, because not a lot of African Americans are going to go and buy country. And see, they looking at, of course, in white America could buy you, but will they? But will they? And then if you look at, if the country, if the person that wants to sing country is black, you will have to look at, will white America buy you? And then you will have to look at, will black America buy you? And and most people I know that are black, they don't listen to country music. I listen to country. No, no, a lot of other people, blacks, listen to country, and that's where the black country singer will have a problem, because the black America is not running to those record stores buying them. And then if you look at white America probably is not going to buy you either. And so that black country singer got a problem. And that's why that guy told that girl, he said, "Hey, no, I'm not gonna give you no country no country contract. I can't make no money off of you. I'll give you a pop or an R&B contract, but not no country, because I can't make no money off of you." They didn't even want to waste no time with her with that, because they knew they couldn't make no money off of her. But yet they trying to run over there into that country though. Now I wouldn't mind, me personally, I wouldn't go over to country, but I would sing country songs. Myself. But I wouldn't go over to no country, run over there knowing that there's no market for it there, man. Yeah. There's no market for it there. And you see people trying to run over there thinking they're going to do something special over there. And in reality, it's not. But they think they can. You know, and shit like that, you know. I don't know. I think they gonna do something special over there. You know, like that. Like because they went over there, that they gonna do something special over there. Right. And that's not the case, man. You know, the record companies are looking for sales, man. And if you're not going to sell, they don't even want to be bothered by you. They don't want to be bothered by you. If you're not going to sell, they don't want to be bothered by you. They don't give a shit who you with. And, you know, that goes for whites, too. If you're not going to sell, they know for blacks, they definitely not going to sell. But I think even with whites, if you're not going to sell country musical at the record over there, that's any company. If you're not going to sell, they'll get rid of you, man. They'll drop you like a hot potato, man. Like that. It doesn't, I mean, that's the reality of it, man. I can sing country music on my own. Yeah, I don't mind singing a little country on my own. But I know that me going to a country a record company is useless. That's useless. But I think people think they could do it. And you know, but I know I can't. I'm not even gonna waste my time with it, and neither is they. They're not gonna waste their time with your ass, because they know. You know, but I think they think they could do it because Charlie Pride did it. And but the thing with that is that if you're not going to make it an R&B, if you're black, If you're not, if you didn't make it in R&B or pop, you certainly isn't going to make it over in country. You're not going to make it over there either. You know, again, they're more tougher. Country is more tougher than pop and R&B. So if you ain't gonna make it over in R&B and pop, you certainly isn't going to make it over there in country either. And so ain't no sense of you running over there. I think Darius Rucker, I think he got in there by the skin of his teeth. Darius Rucker. Darius Rucker came went in. I think he went in around 2000. When I first seen him on the scene, he was I think it was 2007 or 8, where Darius Rucker went over there. But these days, nah, you're not going to make it over there. Now it's 10, 15 years later. Yeah, you're not going to make it over there now. And I think Darius Rucker made it, and I'm not sure how well he's doing that over there either. I'm not sure how Darius Rucker is doing over there either. I mean, I imagine that he is not. I imagine that he is probably not selling to Black America. You know, like that. I don't know if white America is buying him. You know, but I don't think he got a bunch of fans over there that are black. Over there where they're buying his music. I'm talking about by the thousands and shit like that. You know, or a million or whatever. I'm not sure if it's like that for him. I'm not sure if it is. But again, that the music industry is different, and it's looking for sales. And if you can't sell, it doesn't matter who you is. It doesn't matter whether you are a star that was out there for 20 and 30 years. It doesn't matter. Or whether you're the first person that came on the block. It doesn't matter. If you doesn't make sales, they'll get rid of you like a hot potato. It doesn't matter who you is. It don't even matter. And it doesn't matter if you're in pop, country, jazz, blues, R&B, gospel, whatever. It doesn't matter. You know, because all those companies are looking for sales. And if you can't meet those sales, man, they'll drop you like a hot potato, man. And don't be thinking you're gonna run over to this particular company knowing darn well you ain't you ain't gonna make those sales over there, man. And you think you can go over there and make things happen and all this old bull crappy stuff and them record companies, you can imagine that you're not the first person that went over there that tried to do that. You know, if you're black, you know, you're not going to be the one and only person that went over there that tried to do that. You know, and stuff like that. I wonder how Darius Rucker doing. You know, and I'm not trying to be funny with that, but I wonder what those sales look like over there for him. I think I think he came in around 7 or 8, 2007, 2008 or whatever. But I wonder what those sales look like with him over there. I don't know. But you know, when you think about country, if I were to name country singers that are black that's out there, I couldn't name them other than Charlie Pryor and Darius Rucker. I don't know. And that doctor, you see, he didn't last that long. He only lasted for 5 years. And the only reason probably why he lasted because he had the money to pull it off the ground, you know, and shit like that. He had money to go in there to see if he could do it, you know, and stuff like that. But he didn't last either. I mean, he lasted for 5 years, but that don't mean that obviously that it did not work. You know, for whatever reason for him, obviously it didn't work. You know, for the 5 years. But I think he thought that because he had the money to pull it off, the doctor thought he had the money to pull it off and try to do country music and stuff. Um, you know, like that. But it didn't last anyway. You know, whether you got money to pull it off or not, it ain't based on that. It's based on sales. It's based on what you sell, man, and that's what those record companies are looking for. They not looking how much money you got in your pocket already. They ain't looking for that. They ain't going by that. They ain't looking for how much money you got right now, how much money you got in the bank account already. They ain't looking for that. They looking for how much can you sell if we sign you, you know, and shit like that. That's what they're looking at. They're not looking at if you got money to pull it off the ground yourself, and you know, and stuff like that. But once, you know, but even if you got enough to pull the ground off for yourself, man, you'll see, man, that it ain't it still didn't work for the doctor, man. It worked it for 5 years, but shit, you know. And he had a couple of albums, but that don't mean the albums, you know, worked it well. Obviously, it didn't, cause he left it. He might have came out with and put out a couple of albums, but that don't mean it sold well. You know, that don't mean it sold well. You know. But I think that people think they could just jump up and do it when the record companies already know, man. It's not a business for it, and you don't want to dash people's dreams and hopes and everything, but you gotta face reality, man. When it comes to those companies, man, you know, um, you gotta face reality with that, you know, because and you know they all about making money. You know, those record companies are all about making money, man. They ain't trying to fool around with no bull crappy stuff, man. They ain't fooling around with no bull crappy stuff. Um, you know, they ain't hardly fooling around. Lisa Bonet, back with her husband, man, and yeah. But I hope they make it work. I hope they make it work. Lisa Bonet is back with her husband. I hope they make that work. But if it doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised. If it doesn't work, I wouldn't be surprised. Um, um, Yeah, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. But again, I hope it worked for them. But I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't work. You know, I think it was. I'm glad. I don't know if Lisa took took a stand with that. I think she did take a stand with it, and maybe he realized that. I don't know what's the reason he went back. You know, that's not none of my business or whatever. But I think that Lisa better be, she better be on her P's and Q's, man, because people you know, she better make sure that he didn't just come back to get in the house. You know. You know, because he could came back just to get in the house, not to get back with her. You know, like that. So you got Lisa better be on her P's and Q's with that, man, because he could be. He just wanted to get back in the house. That don't mean he wanted to get back with her. You know, and stuff like that. So, Lisa, you better be on your P's and Q's with that, man. But people is trying to be slick, man. You know, but you know, and stuff like that. You know, you know. Let me just talk about Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg has always spoke her mind. I don't give a shit. You know, and I think because I think she probably, like, when she made the thing that the Holocaust wasn't about race, this, that, and the other. But I think she she probably needed to say more with that, not just to end it. It wasn't about race. It was about this. It was about race, but it was about race and this. But she didn't say it that way, and people took offense to that. But Whoopi Goldberg has always spoke her mind. But I think because she was with The View, you know, and shit like that, they saying that she can't say what she wants to say because they scared they may lose the ratings of The View. And that's the bottom line of it. They just want to lose the ratings of The View, you know, like that. And so either you get off the show or you apologize, you know, and shit like that. Where did freedom of speech go, you know? But I think because, you know, because you're with those companies. But if Whoopi Goldberg wasn't with those companies, Whoopi Goldberg would say what the fuck she wanted to say, and that would have been the end of that. It wouldn't have been about you had to go and apologize and shit like that and all that stuff. Nah, it wouldn't have never went like that. You know, and stuff like that. So, but again, I think she wanted to continue with The View, and that's why she. I think again, I think she should have said more when she said that. You know, it wasn't about race. She should have said it wasn't just about race. It was about this, and this. You know, but she didn't say it that way, and I think people took offense to what she said. You know, she probably need to explain more, but she didn't. But I think when she came back, she probably, you know, tried to make it clear of what she tried to say, whatever, this, that, and the other. But me, but listening to Whoopi Goldberg's statements that she made in the past and stuff like that, she always said which the fuck she wanted to say, and she didn't give a shit about who cared about what the statements that she made, you know. But I think because she was on The View, that and if she wanted to continue to stay there, you know, that she had to apologize. But I don't think that she said it to be mean. I don't think that she said it like that. I think she just needed to be more clear about what she really wanted to say about that. I think she probably need to be more clear about what she said about that. Wendy Williams. I remember seeing her when she used to be a disc jockey and all that stuff, and she used to have people call in and shit like that and stuff. But I think Wendy Williams is going through a tough time now, um, and and I think she's going a tough time with recovery and stuff like that. With drug abuse and stuff like that, and trying to get her life together with that. But I remember, back in it was I think in the early somewhere around 2013, 12, 13, 14, 15, somewhere around there. I remember her having Natalie Cole on the show, and she went to Natalie Cole, and she had asked Natalie Cole about recovery and stuff like that. And I'm glad Natalie Cole got honest with her, didn't lie to her or whatever, because this is what she said. She said that people in recovery was coming to her and say, "Hey, Wendy, you can't be drinking. You can't be drinking." Like if Wendy Williams wanted to stop drug abuse, cocaine, stop cocaine. She was like, the people in recovery were saying, "Hey, Wendy, you can't be drinking," like that, right? And so when she got Natalie Cole on the show, she said, "This is where can I ask you a question about the recovery thing?" She's like, "I know you drink, right? And here's where Natalie had drug addiction for years, and she finally got clean or whatever. And but she didn't stop drinking. And when it's addiction, you're supposed to, especially with drug addiction, you're supposed to stop everything. You can't linger out on, say, "Hey, I'm gonna drop cocaine, but I'm gonna drink." And if you do that, that means you lost your clean time. You lost recovery. You doesn't have none of it. Even if you stop cocaine. Even if you stop cocaine. If you drink, you lost all of that recovery. Because, you have to go back to the beginning. Because it's obviously you didn't believe. Because anytime you drink, you still doesn't believe that you're an addict. You still doesn't believe, you think you in control. You still think you in control by drinking. Even if drinking was never a problem for you. But with addiction, it's sneaky. And it will creep up on you when you least expect it, man. And it think you could, and it could tell you, even though you have problem with cocaine, it tell you, "Hey, you can take a drink," and shit like that. And knowing damn well, that you really can't take a fucking drink, it's gonna probably lead you back to cocaine anyway. But the thing is that on Wendy, Natalie told her that Wendy knew that she was drinking, and she's like, "You drink and stuff like that," and she's like, "Yeah, or whatever." And she said, because people keep coming telling me, and that even though she's trying to put down cocaine, that I shouldn't drink. And she's and Natalie got honest with her and said, "I'm not supposed to be drinking," like that, because Natalie knew that if she was had years of recovery with the cocaine, she knew that she wasn't supposed to be drinking. And I'm glad she got honest with Wendy Williams with that. Because Wendy Williams, people were telling Wendy Williams, hey, you can't be drinking, and stuff like that. And so I'm glad that she got honest with her with that. But Wendy Williams is having a tough time now with with drugs. And I believe the marriage that she just ended, I think that plays a role with her tough time. I think that, drugs, whatever form it is, plays a role too. But I think you can't do one and not the other. You got to put it all down. Because people try to, they use that alcohol, they use that door of alcohol to go through, man. Even if they put down heroin, cocaine, crack, but they still trying to go through that door of alcohol, man, and thinking that they can skate by and do that. And what happens is that door of alcohol will lead them right back to crack, cocaine, heroin, and anything else. But they think that because it's a social thing. Alcohol, because people use it as a social thing. And some people can drink and put it down. But other people can't drink and put it down. They can't put it down once they pick it up. And then if they do pick it up, they go to other drugs and shit like that. And they let you know that you can't do that if you're an addict. You got alcoholics that can't do it either. They can't put down that drink, man. And they can't use drugs either. Because if you use drugs, you're going to go back to alcohol. And shit like that. So alcoholics can't use drugs either. It's going to lead them back to drinking again too. And I think that some people think that they can slide by with alcohol, man. Even though they put down crack, cocaine, heroin, and stuff like that. Even if they put that down, crack, cocaine, and heroin, even if they put that down, they want to go through the door of alcohol. They think they can drink with alcohol. And alcohol just as addictive as anything else, man. And that's the number one drug out there. Alcohol. And it causes more damage to the body than any other drug. But they look down on other people who do crack, cocaine, heroin, and shit like that. And alcohol is just as worse, But the thing with alcohol is that they got all these liquor stores and shit like that. But when it comes to crack, they arrest the people. You selling crack, heroin, and all this old stuff, you going to prison, But yes, they got liquor stores and all over the place, man. Having people run over people with DTs and blackouts and accidents and all that stuff where alcohol is causing. And they look at that as like it's not as addictive as crack, cocaine, and heroin. But alcohol just as addictive. And people need to not be fooled about alcohol. I ain't talking about the ones that are. I'm talking about the ones that are drug addicts and alcoholics. I ain't talking about the people who can drink and put it down. I ain't talking about that. But I'm talking